This isn't a sort of reenactment or something artificial that's going on here. This is Irish culture just as much as it is in Dublin or Cork. It's the same thing. It's not different.
To me, the Center for Irish Music is a great school to learn Irish music, but I think beyond that, it's a community. It's a place to meet friends, to build friendships. Seeing the kids growing up together and sharing a love for Irish music has just been wonderful.
The first time I started getting really interested in it is when my mom was just messing around on the whistle, because we had a box of whistles downstairs in the basement, and she brought them up and she started learning this tune, and then I got jealous. And then I started wanting to learn the tune too, and then I just started picking it up and playing it.
My mom had me playing Suzuki violin for a little bit, and I hated it, and I told her, Mom, I'm never playing music if this is what it is. I'm never doing this. And then I got a tin whistle in my hands, and I adored it. The music that we're playing is really good, and it holds a standard to the rest of the world, and even in Ireland.
A number of years back, I had a work assignment which required my family and I to move to Galway, Ireland. And we'd never been to Galway, we'd never been to Ireland, for that matter. So we didn't really know that much about the Irish and their culture and their art and their music. But I had this connection with a little record store in town, and so was in there, and they said, well, you've got to get some Irish music. You should start with a couple of these CDs. So I brought these CDs home, and we played them in the house straight away, and we were all immediately captured by this music. We were all kind of drawn in, and there's a kind of an energy to it, and also a sense of something deeper. The Center for Irish Music is a community. It's a community that's focused in on a culture that you may or may not have grown up with. So, but it's this kind of culture that's pretty wide open. So you don't actually have to be Irish to find a place here that you would really enjoy being a part of this with you and your family. And if your interests are just for the music, pure music, this is such a deeply musical place. It comes from a place that's deep within a culture, but yet it's kind of shared across culture.
I like that it's a community and we can just come at basically any time. There'll be a session that you can join. You can just play music with other people and learn tunes from other people, and you can teach other people other tunes. It's very social as well as playing music.
Me too, ditto.
One of the neat things for me has been to have her being involved in the community outside of just our family, because we play music at home and she's introduced to it through me, but to have her learn tunes from somebody that's not me and to learn tunes with friends and be part of a group that's separate from me has been really fun to watch.
I think people really should take lessons at the Center for Irish Music because there are good teachers, and in all of the ensembles, no matter how many people you have, it's still all fun, and you always learn something new every day.
My grandson and I both had expressed an interest in learning bodhrán, so we decided to sign up together, and that's really been a lot of fun to take lessons together. And Todd is such a great teacher. He's so patient with John and just keeps bringing us along, adding new techniques.
At my dance competition, it was all live musicians, and then I started doing the harp and the whistle.
Sounding good?
I loved it.
Safe home, safe home, safe home, may you go, until I next see you, safe home, may you go.
I want children singing with their parents. I want children singing with each other. I just think music is people's birthright, and every person can have music in their lives, and they can be musical participants, not just musical consumers.
Since the founding of the school, I think the entire Irish community has been led and, aided by this, foundational organization being being the Centre for Irish Music. There's a lot more goes on in the school than just music. And there's a lot more taught to the kids about the history of why it's important and what it ties them to. So now with a school of 200 students strong, the growth for the future is incredibly exciting. But it does take a lot of energy and a lot of work. And the collaboration between the Celtic Junction and the Centre for Irish Music, they're almost essential to each other. And I think it's been a great relationship over the last 10, coming up on 10 years as it is now.
Up sa sean a bhrach fuair do áhrín bás only bhórní bhór ach bhó sí sús a tráis up sa sean a bhrach fuair do áhrín bás only bhór in incar bhó sí sús go tráis lócan andy nandy cúcan andy ó spúcan andy nandy cúcan andy ó cúcan andy nandy cúcan andy ó Porty John the sheet the slink of Philip Joe he didn't dance and dance and he didn't dance today he didn't dance and dance nor would he after day he didn't dance and dance and he didn't dance today he didn't dance and dance nor did he yesterday throw him up throw him up high throw him up he'll be back by and by throw him up throw him up high throw him up to heaven we'll see if he can fly throw him over say throw him over he'll come back again throw him over say throw him over he'll come back for a day piper sell your pipes and buy your wife a gown piper sell your pipes I'm sure they fetch a pound piper sell your pipes and buy your wife a gown I wouldn't sell my pipes for all the wives in town cookin' Andy Nandy cookin' Andy oh cookin' Andy Nandy cookin' Andy oh cookin' Andy Nandy cookin' Andy oh 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho James the thousand ink shame the mission go 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho James the thousand ink shame the mission go oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho Shin my vigo do show solid basket joe 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho Shin my vigo do show solid basket joe oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho Rasta Coro Viva my Regaxito 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho Rasta Coro Viva my Regaxito oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho even then I think a sheep sick ho 14 on the shield the sink of Philippi ho even then I think a sheep sick ho oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho oh Shivana Classy oh Shivana joy oh Shivana Classy ink of Philippi ho
Hi there. Good evening, everybody. My name is Nora, and this is Brian Miller, my husband, and we are here hosting the concert tonight. So welcome to the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend at home. We are at home right now, and in our office, Brian was just teaching a lesson. So we're both teachers at the school, and anyways, we're happy to be here with you tonight. We're super excited about this concert that we have coming up for you tonight, featuring our Advanced Youth Ensemble musicians. These are some of our most incredible and dedicated musicians at the school who are young. We have lots of older musicians as well. But before I tell you all about them and play some music from them, I wanted to tell you about the festival. Do you like our shirts? Aren't they lovely?
I love them.
We just got them in the mail, and hopefully some of you got them in the mail too. These are the new ones for this year, and we love them. And so we're just about to kick off 4 days of virtual festival. First one we've ever had in this way. It's the 12th year of the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend. And so we're super excited about workshops. And there's 3 programs, and it's not too late to sign up. One of them is the teen program, and that starts tomorrow. It's Thursday and Friday. And then we've got the Trad Immersion Camp for 9 to 12-year-olds, taught by Mary Venorni and Danielle Enblom. That's on Friday and Saturday. And then all of the adults will flock to their computers and get to meet all of our visiting artists on Saturday and Sunday of this week. And we have tons of concerts and events happening too. So this one is the last of the preview concerts. And tomorrow night, tune in at 7:30 for our opening reception, which is a concert by Pauline Keneally, joined by her brother, Mick Keneally, on the bouzouki, and then a fantastic set from Benny McCarthy. So tune in tomorrow. And this is our poster. Brought it here for you to take a look at. These are all of our amazing artists who are going to be teaching. It's Matt Kranich, Conal Lagrada, Benny McCarthy, Pauline Keneally, Danny Diamond, Sean Gavin, and Brian O'Hart. And if you want to find out more, you can go to our website at centerforirishmusic.org/events/MIM. There it is, right on your screens. So I think we're going to get started with these musicians, and we'll talk about them. The way tonight's going to work is we're going to have clips of each of the young musicians playing with an instructor. Some of them are playing with Brian, and some of them are playing with one another. And this is the first time most of us have seen all of these back to back. So you're going to be hearing a little bit from us about the musicians, and then you'll hear a clip, and then back to us, and then you'll hear another video. So Brian is going to tell us a little bit about our first video that you're going to see. So Brian.
So the Advanced Ensemble, so both of us teach the Advanced Ensemble at the Center for Irish Music. And it's sort of age-bounded group, and we started years ago going to the FLA, the Midwest FLA, the competition put on by Coltis, and they age out of the sort of the under 18 age group once they're going to turn 18 in January. Anyway, so the 2 guys that are going to play here this is their last year in the group. They're going into their senior year of high school, and they're fantastic musicians, incredible musicians, and they've been to the school for a long time. It's Ian McKenna and Joe DiGiorgio, and I got to play guitar with them virtually on this recording. They're playing 2 jigs. Just checking the names here. Kitty of Ullart and The Leg of the Duck, or a version of The Leg of the Duck. Those are the titles I dug up for these 2. So we'll have the lads take it away here.
Yoo-hoo! Hup.
Hup.
Good stuff, guys. So that was Joe DiGiorgio and Ian McKenna. And last year, those guys went over to Drogheda to the All Ireland Fleadh, and they came in third in the under 18 duets and represented St. Paul, Minneapolis. We were so proud of them. And not only that, they were playing sessions, they were leading sessions all over town and having just a fantastic time. So we're so proud to have those two fantastic musicians involved at the school. So I'm sure all of you are very aware that school has not been in session or not been in person for quite a few months now due to COVID, and Center for Irish Music's been no exception. We've had all of our classes virtually, and we really miss seeing all the kids. So hi guys, we miss you. And just like Zoom, they can't really talk back, and we can't really hear them, but it has been an opportunity to learn some new things. And one of the things we've been working on figuring out is how to do these videos. So you're going to see kind of a cool example of how the students have been learning how to play along with either Brian or with themselves even. So I'll hand it over to Brian to introduce. This is one of Brian's students, Olivia.
Yeah, so Olivia Wenner takes lessons from me, and she's a joy to work with every week. Here, she is exhibiting her multi-talented nature by playing both the tenor banjo and the concertina at the same time, two different versions of herself. And then because she did that, I decided I would play both guitar and bouzouki along with her. So there's two Olivias and two me's in this video. But we're playing a couple reels, the Stony Steps and the Hut in the Bog. So here's Olivia and myself in double vision.
Nice job, Olivia. That's fantastic. So we're going to continue on with another duet, and this is a duet by Owen Larson, one of our newest fiddle players in the group, and Liam O'Shea. So Liam will be playing piano, and Owen is playing the fiddle, and he's playing a great tune called The Gold Ring. Woohoo! Nice stuff, Owen. Nice stuff, Liam. That's great. So I think we're going to continue on with something that we worked on in the class right before COVID hit. We were working really hard on the Midwest Flaw material. So this group puts a groupicule together and a ceilidh band together. And we've been doing that for quite a few years. So in March, right after the Center for Irish Music's fundraising event called Egsha, we're always working really hard after that to put together these arrangements. So what we're going to show you next is like a very small version of part of the groupicule. It's a beautiful tune called Planxty Constantine Maguire. And this is 4 musicians playing this together, 4 out of the 12 that are in the group. So this is Joe DiGiorgio, who you saw on fiddle a little bit earlier, and Finn Coleman playing the harp, Olivia playing concertina, and Carmen Pascarella playing the flute. So you'll hear a few harmonies, and this is a Carolyn composition. So I really hope you enjoy this one.
1, 2, 3.
Lovely. Nice stuff. So doing an ensemble online is not quite as nice as doing it in person. The kids might wholeheartedly agree with that statement. But one thing that we've realized we can do in this situation is learn new music. And so what we've been trying to do is sort of tour around some of the great artists that have inspired Nora and myself as musicians, and sort of try to get the kids turned on to different musicians and expose them to different ways of playing Irish music and different instruments and different ages of players and people living different places. So anyway, this next set is going to feature my student Declan Coleman on banjo, playing along with myself. But he's playing two tunes that we looked at sort of as a group, and they were recorded on an album by our good friend and CIM teacher and MIM guest instructor, Sean Gavin, and he did an album with Sean McComiskey and Bernadette McGowan and Kathleen McGowan. They called themselves Nagaviski, and that came out maybe 10 years or so ago. But these are two barn dances that are on that recording, the Chaff Pool Post and Dances at Kinvara. So here's Dec and myself giving them a go on the banjo. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yeah! Yay me!
Nice stuff. Nice stuff, Deck. Nice stuff, Brian. Very good. So there you go. That's Deck Coleman playing with Brian, and it's great music. And one of the things we've learned through all of this is that you need really long headphones if you play the banjo.
It's true.
It's true. So there you go. We're going to continue on now with Katie Glazer. So Katie Glazer is a flute player now. She started on the whistle when she was, I think she was 6 years old, and that was a while ago. I don't know how old I was back then, but I was her dance teacher, which she was, I think I was her dance teacher when she was maybe even younger than that. Any dancer much older than 5 should really study with somebody else. But I was great at teaching the kids how to point their toes and how to walk in a zigzag line and all sorts of really important dance steps. I used to teach for O'Shea's Dance when I first moved to the Twin Cities, run by Natalie and Cormac O'Shea. They're amazing people, and they have the Celtic Junction Art Center, which is normally our home, but currently nobody's home because nobody's there. We can't be together. So Katie is a dancer and she is a great musician. And it's been so wonderful to have her playing with the Advanced Youth Ensemble this year. She's learned a lot of tunes, and her playing's just come so far just in 1 year. And so we're going to continue on with some tunes from her. And her little sister, Sarah, is learning piano. She's a great piano player, studying with Corey Froelich, who's one of our wonderful teachers at the school. He's a flute teacher and singing teacher and piano teacher. So he offered to play piano here with Katie. So you're going to hear Katie and Corey playing together. And Katie's playing 2 reels, 2 3-part single reels, really lovely, lovely tunes that we learned from the Friel sisters at last year's Minnesota Irish Music Weekend. So without further ado, here it is. Over to Katie. She's going to play Paddy Cronin's and Paddy Taylor's. Yeah, nice stuff, Katie. Woohoo! Great job. So great to hear you guys play together, and maybe sometime in the future, you'll be able to play those together for real. Good to see the side of Corey's head there too. It's really nice. It's the nicer side, I think.
Corey's a fellow Bemidjian.
He is. There's a lot of good Irish music come out of Bemidji.
It's fact.
Yeah, Brian's from Bemidji too, and so we're gonna keep going on here, and Brian actually is gonna talk about the next number.
We're gonna have a couple. We're gonna have a couple of jigs. Do you like our rapport? We've got great rapport.
In fact, this is maybe the first time Brian and I have actually talked today. It's great to see you, Brian.
It's nice to see you, Nora. It's great. You'd think, been confined to our house for 3 months, we would know what we're doing. One day we'll know what we're doing. This is Mr. Ian McKenna, just down the road in beautiful St. Anthony Park here in St. Paul.
He's got a real live watch party happening in his backyard right now.
Really?
Yep,
Oh,
with
that's
distance.
great.
Lots of distance.
With lots of distance. Well, Ian and I collaborated over the internet cables, and he is playing 2 jigs here fantastically on his accordion. The first one, believe it or not, is also a distant variant of the Gold Ring, which we heard from Mr. Owen Larson earlier. This tune sometimes has that same title. It's also sometimes called The Wearied Lad, which is
how they might feel after school
how
finishing.
they might feel.
How
after school
Ian might
finishing.
feel right now.
And then the second jig is called Strike the Gay Harp. It's a favorite of Mr. Marty McHugh, one of the great C-sharp D accordion players living here in St. Paul. So here's Ian McKenna, 2 jigs. Whoa! That was mighty.
So nice.
When you play an accompaniment instrument, you get this like awesome front row seat to great music and playing along with. Even though it was digitally, it was just really fun to play along with that. Because Ian's just playing mighty there, and it's amazing some of these kids that we've had at the school for ages, just to see how they've matured so much in their music, and it's great playing, and it's just been incredible to watch someone like him. He started out, the accordion was bigger than him when he was starting at the school.
Yeah, he started with John McCormick. John McCormick, who learned a lot of his music from Marty McHugh, and then has taught these two accordion players at the school. He's been working with them since they were really young. Ian McKenna and Cathal Mee, who you'll hear play shortly, and those guys have gone on to take some lessons with some other people as well, as they've kind of grown and matured. So Ian's been taking some lessons. He's been working with Connor Connolly, and maybe he learned those tunes from him, but he's definitely learned some really great moves from him. And he's always been a lovely musician, so it's just wonderful to hear him play. So speaking of kids who have been at the school for a long time, and we're so lucky to have a chance to work with them, and then I love this concert because it's so nice to hear him play solo. We don't really get to hear him play solo enough. This is a quartet, well, kind of a quartet. It's a quartet / trio by two of my students and Brian. So this is Ava Sakharov and Carmen Pasquarella. They're good friends, these two. They play the flute and the whistle, and whichever one will play one and one will play the other. And they've been doing duets together for many years at the FLA. And so we thought it would be fun for them to put something together for this. So they're gonna play two tunes, and one of them, Siobhan O'Donnell's, it has another name as well, which I cannot remember at the moment. Ava learned this in Ireland in 2017, when she went over with quite a few other kids. We brought 18 kids over to Ireland the first year that we ever went. And so she learned this at School Egsha and brought it back and taught it to a whole bunch of us. And then the second tune is The Morning Dew, I believe. And I think that the screen will say it's the cup of tea, but it's the morning dew. And Ava's playing boron and whistle, and then Carmen is playing the flute, and they're accompanied by Brian. And it's just been so fun for me to see these two grow, and they're playing great music, and I hope you really enjoy this set.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice stuff, gals. Fantastic stuff. So the next set.
Next set is my two of my students here, Derek Anderson. who's been taking banjo with me for quite a while, since he was quite small. And he is playing with Maureen McBurney, who's actually not in the advanced ensemble at the moment, but he's a fantastic musician. He's been in the Starling Ensemble this year. And he's an incredible banjo player in his own right, but he's playing guitar here to accompany Derek. And they're playing two tunes. So Derek is a dark horse with the music sometimes. He's been taking lessons from me, and he just suddenly, recently, produced these two tunes that he'd worked up all on his own. And I don't even know where he got them, but they're amazing. He plays them really well. The first one's called Inish Baracon, and the second one is an old tune called I Ne'er Shall Wean Her. But anyway, two lovely jigs accompanied by his good friend Maureen. These guys play together under the band name Twice Banjaxed, and they are a force.
You've probably heard them outside the Blackstack Brewery, outside the Celtic Junction,
yeah,
inside the Celtic Junction, outside their houses. These guys play all the time together.
Yeah.
So enjoy the set.
How? Woohoo! I decided there, since Derek opted to only put the top part of his banjo in the frame, that I'd put up a really cool picture of those guys playing. That was over at what do they call it? The Egg Roll Queen.
Yeah, the Egg Roll Queen Cafe over there in Como neighborhood. Every year the kids do a concert there, or a show, like an open mic in December. So that's where that photo came from.
Yeah, but the guys are playing great. And one thing that is amazing about having the Celtic Junction and being in a physical space as a school, which of course we are unable to do right now, is just the hangout that happens between some of the students after lessons and between lessons and before lessons. And those two guys, they hang. They have a serious history of hanging out around the Celtic Junction and playing tunes together and chatting about music. And it's really cool. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, and Maureen is a great dancer too. He dances with
That's
O'Shea
right.
Irish dance. He's a great dancer, and he plays banjo too.
And accordion.
And accordion.
So we're lucky, really lucky here in town to have accordion players. It's an odd enough instrument in the world. Not everybody has a button accordion.
But
here
they
in
should.
Minnesota. But we have a great sort of precedent for Irish accordion playing in the Twin Cities, with Paddy O'Brien and Marty McHugh being our two immigrant accordion players, and Charlie Heyman has played here for a long time, Tom Dahill, and then John McCormick, who's also played here for quite a long time and played accordion and has learned a lot from Marty. He's been teaching now at the CIM for almost since the beginning of the school, and it's been cool to see how that's really caught on with a couple of young people. So the next performer is Mr. Kahumi, who's similar to Ian, has just taken to the accordion and has learned from John McCormick for a long time. He also connected with one of our past MIM guests,
Chris Stevens,
and has done some online lessons with Chris. So Cahill's going to play two tunes. Now, if you were tuned in early today, you might recognize these. They may have appeared in one of the earlier performances, but that's because they're great tunes, and we could hear a second run through them for sure. So this is the Stony Steps and the Hut in the Bog, played by Kahumi.
Nice stuff, Cahill. That's fantastic. That's really great playing, and it's so great to hear you play solo yet again.
It is really great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful music. So that comes from one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Mihal Rahali's concertina, solo concertina album. It's called The Nervous Man, and we went through in March and April and May. We went through a bunch of classic recordings. Recordings that both Brian and I love. You mentioned that earlier, and that was one of them. And a bunch of the kids seem to really love those tunes, just like I do. So we're going to continue on now with a beautiful air So we just have 2 more numbers for you for tonight. But this is a beautiful air called Bon Crick Erin Oi. And this is a tune that I associate with Dahi Sproul, who is a fantastic guitar player and singer and scholar and like a guru. He's a real mentor to a lot of people at the Center for Irish Music in particular, but also just in the community. He's very generous with his music and generous with his knowledge and with his Irish language as well. He's taught a lot of people Irish, and we have, anyway, we're so lucky to have Dahi in the Twin Cities. So you're going to hear him play with Carmen. Carmen Pascarella is a flute student of mine, and she's been taking lessons since she was really teeny, younger than my son Henry, which is hard to believe now. And she loves Irish music. She loves a lot of kinds of music, but she has a real knack for playing these airs. She plays them with a lot of heart, and she particularly likes this one. And Dahi tells a story about when Carmen's grandma, Barb Edstrom, was taking some song classes with Dahi, a particular song class one night. I think she was driving Carmen home. So Carmen came into the class, and Dahi played a tune, or sang a song, or played a tune, and specifically for Carmen. And so he always remembers her. And, you know, when you're a teacher, you always can tell if kids are interested in music. It just is really obvious it's really obvious when you see a child and you see them interact with music when there's some nice music playing. Some kids kind of doesn't make an impact on them. And then there's certain kids who just like, it catches their attention. And Carmen is definitely one of those kids. And you can tell, you can hear it in her playing. So this is a beautiful song, as many airs, most airs are. And this is a song that Scara Bray recorded in vocal harmony. But here it is with Carmen Pascarella playing and Dahi Sproul accompanying. Aw, so lovely.
Beautiful.
So beautiful. That sadly was the tune that we were going to play for our group of Kjol, and we were just in the process of kind of working it out. So all the kids know that tune, and maybe we'll get to play it all together, of course, again at some point. And thank you so much, Carmen and Dahi, for putting that together. That was gorgeous. We're going to finish off with one more tune, and before that, before Brian introduces that number, I just wanted to remind you that, so these concerts are being streamed. This is part, as you can see, of the Minnesota Irish Music Weekend at Home. We're really excited about presenting a virtual festival, and it has been an adventure and continues to be a great adventure. So I wanted to thank all of you for joining us and for supporting the festival by registering and by coming to these concerts. All of the concerts are being broadcast on our Facebook page, so come be a fan. If you're on Facebook, go to the Center for Irish Music and like our page, and you'll get your notifications. We have more concerts coming. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, so the concerts are also being broadcast on YouTube. And it's really easy when they're happening to just sign up or just go to our website, centerforirishmusic.org, and just click on the banner right when you get there. And you can see the concert streamed live. You can go full screen on your smart TV and just fill your screen with, fill your living room with beautiful music. So tomorrow night is the next concert. It's our opening reception, which really just means that I'll be doing some kind of introduction. Maybe Brian and I will put together a little choreography for you or something really great. And then Pauline Keneally is going to be performing with her brother, followed by Betty McCarthy doing a fantastic accordion concert from Waterford. But there's the Great Session Experience on Friday night. A bunch of Zoom links are going to be posted on our website by noon on Friday, so you can join in the junior session at 6 p.m., the song session with Brian at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and then the big session for everybody from 7:30 to 9 p.m. led by Mary Vinorni. So that's happening on Friday, and then concerts at 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, and another concert, Matt Cranich, on Sunday at 3 p.m. So be sure to tune in to all of those, and you can donate to the MIM at Home Concert Fund. All of the concerts are free and accessible to everybody, but if you're interested in supporting this festival, we are one of the main reasons why we wanted to have this festival is we really wanted to keep paying the artists and keep them teaching and performing and keep connecting them to you guys, to our music fans. And so we're so thrilled to have the capacity to do that. And one of the reasons why we have the capacity to do that is because we have a really strong base of donors and supporters for the school. And we just wouldn't be what we are without you. So thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support this particular initiative, just go to our website and go to register, and there's a place that you can donate. So I hope you have enjoyed this evening. I certainly have. It's been wonderful. And also thanks so much to Macaulay Media and Evolution Productions, who are making these virtual concerts possible. It's Michelle McGregor and Pete Macaulay.
Thanks, guys.
They are basically the main reason why we decided, okay, let's go for it. I wasn't willing to go for planning this festival and going ahead with it without the technical support from these two. And they've just been amazing to work with. They have made it easy for us to do what we're doing. So we know how to play music, and they know how to do everything else. Thank goodness. And play music, actually. They're both members of the Hounds of Finn, a great Twin Cities band. So anyway, Brian is going to introduce this last one. And thanks, Brian, for co-emceeing tonight.
Thanks,
it's been
Nora.
a pleasure to speak with you. And
Maybe we'll talk.
He's going to introduce the last one. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Let us know what you think, and come back tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. We will be here.
So the last number here features our other graduating member of the group. So we kind of opened up this concert with Joe Giorgio and Ian McKenna, and then we heard from Ian there in the middle. And this is Joe again here at the end. So Joe and Ian are graduating out of the group this year. And these two guys they've gone so far with their music beyond any expectations any teacher could have for them. So it's just so exciting to see them launching out into the world. And Joe, I remember when he came the first year that I went to the Midwest Flaw, which was, geez, almost 10 years ago now, or more than 10, I don't even know.
Over 10 years ago.
It's a long time ago. And he was just a little guy.
Just about 10 years ago,
then,
exactly.
And had been doing lessons with Jody Dowling, and he's continued with Jody all these years. He's just playing amazing on the fiddle. So I'm going to enjoy listening to this as much as I enjoyed getting to virtually play with Joe on these tunes. So he starts off with a tune I associate with kind of West Clare fiddle playing, the Porthole of the Kelp. And then one of my favorite reels, the Collier's Reel. He does a brilliant job on that. And then the last tune is the one that I never heard before, but it has the very fun name of The Lobster. So here we go. We'll finish up. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And
thanks to all the instructors who worked so hard to put those videos together. One of the things about the Center for Irish Music that I appreciate just immensely, and I feel so fortunate, is that there's 22 instructors who work together. We really work together to, we say we're handing down the tradition, but we just care about these musicians, the young and old at the school. And we're all working together to teach them music and inspire one another, and they're inspiring us. So have a great night, everybody. Here you go. This is Joe DiGiorgio.
Up sich an der Brache vor der Warin Boss, only horny for a cushy sus the trash. Up sich an der Brache vor der Warin Boss, only horny in cushy sus the trash. Looking Andy, cooking Andy, yo, cooking Andy, cooking Andy, yo, cooking Andy, cooking Andy, yo. 40 on the shield, is Lincoln Philip, yo. He didn't dance and dance, and he didn't dance today. He didn't dance and dance, nor would he after day. He didn't dance and dance, and he didn't dance today. He didn't dance and dance, nor did he yesterday. Throw him up, throw him up high, throw him up, he'll be back by and by. Throw him up, throw him up.